And their biggest away to Spurs since the 70s. What a way to react to dropping points in the fashion that Arsenal did against bottom side Wolves in the week, which was a bit of a shock to everybody, really. And more questions asked about Arsenal. Man City winning again yesterday, asking even more questions, and that is the perfect response. Victory and 4 goals in the derby, and Gyökeres with arguably his best performance in an Arsenal shirt as well, scoring those 2. I suppose, Jamie, it's of course big consequence for Arsenal. We'll start though our analysis looking at Spurs and a new approach. Well, we thought there might be a new approach from their manager Igor Tudor, who had talked about how confident he was before the game of Spurs getting clear of trouble. What did you think of the way they went about it?
He spoke before the game about being on the front foot and being aggressive. And when you talk about taking the game to the opposition, for me, a lot of that is off the ball. How high do you put your back line? How aggressive are you in your press? And it was a man-to-man press all over the pitch. Now, Mikel Arteta and his analysts will know this manager well, even if we don't in the Premier League. And it is really man-to-man orientated, and they dragged some of the Spurs players all over the pitch. So before this clip even starts now, as we get into it, there's Eze on the last line, and he's dragging Basuma here. Do you understand what I mean? So it's a real man-to-man. He's then in the back. So one thing that did happen was what the wing-backs did in terms of pressing for Tottenham and who they went after. So they didn't stay deep. So as this ball comes into David Raya, before we even get to that, let me just highlight where the Spurs centre-backs are. So there's Palhinha. He's your right-sided centre-back because Trossard's now dragging him inside. We've just mentioned Eze. Gyökeres kept pulling to the left, okay? That's to drag the central defender, Dragusin, out wide. So again, the rotations from Arsenal were absolutely fantastic. But a big thing that happened in the game constantly was this, where Jed Spence and on the other side Archie Gray would jump to the fullback, and certainly on this side Van de Ven would come across and come and take Saka. And there was a lot of big challenges early on from Van de Ven. But for me, this clip sums up the first half, where Tottenham went man-to-man, they were aggressive, trying to get the crowd involved, but they never, ever looked comfortable, never looked in control, and it always felt like everything was last-ditch. A last-ditch tackle, maybe a save from the goalkeeper, a situation like this. You felt like, as a Tottenham fan, your heart was permanently in your mouth in this game, and that was probably
the last 5 years.
Yes, it's almost summing up a little bit. You know, it's a small sample size, obviously, it's one clip, but probably a little idea about how Tottenham went about it in this game. But in the first goal, now what happens is something similar, but it's hard to organise it as such because it's right by the box. So what you get is, when the ball comes out, is they clear it. So Jed Spence now comes out to Timber because that's his job. But what happens is, Van de Ven's now in the box. He's thinking maybe a cross might come in. So what happens? Where's Van de Ven can cope in the wide areas with Bukayo Saka? It's now Sarr who's out here now. So what you've got is a 1v1 between a midfield player and one of the best wide players in the Premier League, and he can't cope with it. So Saka goes past him with these because the centre-back is in here, Van de Ven. So he goes past him. It's too easy. And listen, it goes through Conor Gallagher's legs, but that from Eze is absolutely fantastic. Brilliant from him, brilliant touch to flicker up. Whether he meant it, we'll have a little look at that now, but it's a brilliant finish. But there's been a lot of criticism of Arsenal, and at times I think fair, in terms of do they play at times with the handbrake on. So as this ball flicks up, lovely touch, as he's about to finish, you've got full-back, centre-back. So you've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players almost in the box at 0-0 away from home in a derby game. So that, for me, as I said, they were on the front foot, they were really aggressive, and they were far better than Tottenham.
Heard it described as a simple finish, but you see how high his boot is there. Jamie, can we run a little test?
Come on.
Can you get your... This is where he struck that ball up here. Okay. And he's done it super quick, without any kind of backlift.
No, not happening.
It's not even close.
No. And as he rightly said to Pat Davidson, it wasn't easy. It was fantastic. But a player who
24 seconds after kick-off, the restart.
Maybe thought it was a little bit easier as Declan Rice. And I just want to highlight Declan Rice in the full clip, because he's actually really good on a couple of occasions. So, and he was the one who obviously was saying about everyone keep your heads. But he's really good here, gets back, gets the right side of Simons, takes the ball off him. That's the job of a midfield player. The space opens up again for Simons, who comes across. Declan Rice does really well, spots the danger as he does brilliantly, and he covers the ground brilliantly. When I was watching this, the only way I could describe it was what he does now is, because I don't think he's a lad who is cocky or anything. I don't think he is that. But he knows how good he is. And it's almost like when you think you're the best player in the schoolyard as a kid and you think, I can do something because it's only up against Muani or Simons. And he just makes a mistake, a big mistake, and makes it 1-1. And listen, Kolo Muani might be one of the players who flourishes under the new manager. He did really well for him before. I think he's got 5 goals in 11.
At Juventus under Tudor, yeah.
Yes,
So obviously he respects him, and it's a good, fruitful relationship between the two.
Yeah, it was. And listen, really good strike. But I must say, when I was watching, I was thinking, could the goalkeeper do any more? Because it was really close to him. And just as he gets the shot off, look there, if I pause that there now, the problem is he's still in the air. You see his left foot, he almost can't make the save. Because I was thinking, could he make a save like David De Gea used to do?
The foot out. But
When you stick your foot out, to make that save when it's really close, because it's really difficult to get down with your hand. But he can't get his left foot because it's still in the air. It's not planted yet. It only plants. Well, it doesn't plant. He actually tries.
It's past him, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a technique Rob Green talks about, where you actually get the leg, shift it out the way to try and get down. But he can't get down quick enough, and he couldn't, as I said, make the sort of block with his foot because it was still in midair.
So it felt like there was a contest on, but how crucial was it that Arsenal took the advantage so early in the second half?
Yeah, it was, because the longer the game goes on, the more nervous you get. But, I mean, when the game was level, Tottenham really very rarely ever got out of their own half. It didn't happen at all. It only happened when they sort of went behind. But you just see the position he finds himself in there now. Now, you've got to be disappointed as a Spurs manager if you're playing with a back three and that ball comes to the centre forward and it just lands there. The lovely first touch. And the thing I like about Gyökeres is his mentality. I don't think he's a world-class striker, or he's an amazing striker for Arsenal for the next sort of 5 or 6 years. But there's a mentality about the lad that I absolutely love. There's no sort of lack of confidence there. It's just whack. Bang. It's sheer like, you know, that sort of mentality, and he just bangs it into that goal. And as